Our story begins with Trunks and Vegeta engaged in combat training, one in his base form and the other as a Super Saiyan. Vegeta smiles as he notices just how much his son has improved since their last sparring match. Vegeta said, his voice is rough. "Not bad, Trunks. That punch almost managed to hurt me a little. You've trained well. I'm impressed." Trunks replies, blushing slightly, "Thanks, Dad, but you haven't seen anything yet. Watch this." In an instant, Trunks rushes forward at incredible speed, charging straight toward his father. However, with only one arm, Vegeta effortlessly blocks every attack before casually knocking him aside. Then, without a moment's hesitation, a single punch to the stomach ends the fight. Trunks is forced back into his base form and groans in pain in front of Vegeta. "Ah, that really hurt, Dad. Mom told you to go easy on me. You've gotten so much stronger since you went to Yard Rat. That's not fair." Vegeta smirks and lets out a laugh. "Sorry, son, but if the gap between us keeps getting bigger, that just means you're not improving fast enough. How can you even call yourself a Saiyan when you've been stuck at Super Saiyan for years? It's honestly pathetic. At your age, Kakarot's eldest son had already reached Super Saiyan 2. You've still got a long way to go, boy." Hearing his father's words, Trunks can't help but feel disappointed in himself.
Well, honestly, I think you're right, Dad, but Mom doesn't let me take part in the big battles anymore. And from what Gohan told me, he was fighting everyone when he was my age, including Frieza and even Cell. The only person I really get to train with is Goten, and he's only a Super Saiyan 2. Oh, that reminds me, I should go see him. See you later, Dad.
Wait! Vegeta is caught off guard and immediately shouts in annoyance. "That's exactly why you're not making any progress, Trunks. Why do you spend so much time with Kakarot's brat anyway? Besides, you've got every toy in the world right here." Trunks thinks for a moment before answering.
Well, he's my best friend after all. We've been together ever since we were kids. I don't think that'll ever change. You know what I mean, right? Actually, Dad, who was your best friend when you were growing up? Was it Goten's father?
For a moment, Vegeta considers Trunks' question and suddenly imagines himself holding Goku's hand as his best friend. The very thought makes his face twist in disgust and immediately shouts, "No, definitely not that clown. We're not even friends now. Just go already. You don't need to know who my best friend was, Trunks." The kid Trunks thinks to himself, "Oh man, I must have hit a nerve there with Dad. I wonder why he can't admit how much he actually cares about Goku." He then chuckles and says aloud, "All right then, Dad, I'll be back by dinner." Trunks takes off into the sky, leaving Vegeta behind. Vegeta watches him disappear, then falls silent. Slowly, his thoughts drift back to the idea of a best friend. His memories begin to surface. He sees flashes from his past. First his father, then Raditz, and finally Nappa. A heavy wave of regrets suddenly washes over him as the memories grow clearer and more intense. He remembers Nappa being there when he was just a child, always following him through his early life, then his youth, until everything ended the day he himself killed the closest companion he ever had. Vegeta immediately places a hand over his face. For the first time, he feels a strange sense of shame. I did it. To my closest friend. He served me all those years without ever questioning me since the day I was born, and yet I discarded him like he meant nothing. I was no better than Frieza. I left him to rot in hell all this time. I need to fix this. I can't let him think I never cared, that I never saw him as a friend. Vegeta quickly puts his armor back on, determined to visit Nappa for the first time in over 20 years. Let's locate Nappa. He must be in hell. Then he suddenly freezes. He realizes he doesn't even know where hell is. Annoyed, he mutters, "Tch, I'm actually going to have to ask that clown for help. Why is he involved in every arc of this story?" We then cut to a scene where Goku is out fishing by himself. He finishes pulling in his catch at the exact moment Vegeta arrives through instant transmission, appearing comically right in front of Goku's enormous fish. Spotting Vegeta, Goku immediately smiles. "Hey, Vegeta, what brings you here? Don't tell me you finally want to do a little training with me." However, Vegeta quickly explains the real reason for his visit and how he needs to go to Hell in order to see Nappa again. At first, Goku looks confused. Nappa? Nappa? Why does that name sound so familiar? Wasn't that the purple guy who stole my body on Namek? Why do you want to see him, Vegeta? Vegeta stares at him in complete disbelief. "No, you moron! That was Captain Ginyu! Nappa was the guy whose back you smashed into the ground when I first came to Earth. How do you confuse a Saiyan with a purple-horned monster?" "Oh, that guy," Goku replies. "Yeah, I don't think he'll be too happy to see me after what I did to him. Oh wait, you killed him too, didn't you?" Vegeta suddenly goes quiet, a slight feeling of guilt crossing his mind.
Goku seems to realize something. Wait, is that why you want to see him? To apologize after more than 20 years? I think you might be a little late for that. By now, Vegeta is barely holding back his irritation at Kakarot's endless questions. "Would you just shut up and take me there, clown?" Without another word, Goku grabs Vegeta's shoulder. "As you wish, Vegeta. Just try not to cry while you're apologizing." The scene then shifts to a strange area of Hell, the section reserved for lower-level villains like Nappa. Eventually, Goku and Vegeta arrive. Vegeta immediately looks around. "So this is Hell? Where the hell are we? I was expecting something a lot worse than this. I don't even see anyone here, you idiot." Growing increasingly annoyed, Vegeta grabs Goku by the front of his shirt and yells, "I asked you to do one thing, one simple thing, and you couldn't even manage that. I knew I should have handled this myself the moment you thought Nappa was Captain Ginyu." Trying to calm him down, Goku raises his hands. "Relax, Vegeta. He has to be around here somewhere. I locked on to his energy signature directly. Why don't we raise our energy and lure him out?" But before he can finish speaking, a massive shadow suddenly spreads across the area, as if something enormous is falling from above. Then, without warning, a gigantic figure crashes down towards them with tremendous force, clearly intending to crush them both. At the last second, Goku and Vegeta leap out of the way. Standing before them is Nappa. One look at his face makes it obvious that he has never forgotten the past. "Ah, Prince Vegeta," Nappa growls. "How thoughtful of you to come visit me after all these years. I never got the chance to thank you for sending me here forever. Allow me to thank you now, and I'll make sure neither of you ever leaves." Without another word, Nappa lunges straight at Vegeta. Yet Vegeta simply sidesteps the attack, as if Nappa were moving in slow motion. Vegeta remains calm, fully understanding that Nappa has every right to be angry. Trying to intervene, he says, "Nappa, listen to me. I have something I need to tell you. Just give me a moment and calm down." But Nappa's anger only grows stronger. "I never need to listen to you again, you bastard. You're not my prince and you're not my king. Whatever bond we had died the moment you did what you did. I won't stop until you've felt the same pain I felt. I'm not the same Saiyan I used to be, and today you're going to learn the power of an elite warrior." Vegeta watches him silently, realizing there is no talking down an angry Saiyan. "All right, Nappa, have it your way. You haven't left me much choice. Just stand there and listen." The moment he finishes speaking, Vegeta's eyes turn green. His black hair flashes gold as he transforms into a Super Saiyan right before Nappa's eyes. Nappa can barely believe what he's seeing. His jaw drops as he stares in shock. "Vegeta! No, that's impossible! Is that the legendary Super Saiyan?" Vegeta answers with calm confidence. "That's right, Nappa.
You can keep attacking me if you want, or you can calm down and hear what I came here to say. Nappa's expression twists between frustration and anger. Of course this had to happen. Why else would you come here so confidently? So the stories were true. You're the Super Saiyan who appears once every 1,000 years, just as King Vegeta predicted. Then, with a reluctant sigh, he admits, I don't suppose there's much hope in fighting a Super Saiyan. Fine, I'll hear what you have to say. But then, he suddenly catches sight of Goku from the corner of his eye and immediately roars. Just because I'm listening to him doesn't mean I've forgotten about that low-class Saiyan. I'll repay him for what he did to my back, even if it's the last thing I do. Nappa charges directly at Goku, who simply watches him without concern. Yet, in the very next instant, Nappa comes to a complete stop when Goku casually grabs his arm while standing in his own Super Saiyan form. Nappa's eyes widen. You're a Super Saiyan too? No, that's impossible. A low-class Saiyan. How can there be two legendary Super Saiyans? Before anyone can say another word, Vegeta suddenly shouts, "That's enough!" Nappa turns to the side and freezes. For the first time since his encounter with Beerus, Vegeta is bowing his head. He is apologizing. Nappa, I didn't come here to cause you any trouble. I only came because I owe you an explanation. When I was young, I was lost under Frieza's rule. Watching my own father bow before his power twisted my view of everything. I threw away everything that mattered and became obsessed with strength alone. What I also lost sight of was you and everything you did for me while I was growing up. As the years passed, I finally began to understand that. I learned the value of friendship and family again. I built a family of my own, but instead of facing the mistakes of my past, I tried to bury them and pretend they didn't exist. And for that, I was wrong.
Nappa, you were the closest friend I ever had, and I will never forgive myself for sending you here after everything we'd been through together. I'm sorry. The moment those words left Vegeta's mouth, words Nappa had never imagined he would hear from his prince, the giant Saiyan's eyes filled with tears. Suddenly, Nappa shouted, "Vegeta! I've waited my entire life to hear those words. My prince, you were my closest friend too." Without hesitation, he stepped forward and embraced Vegeta before continuing, "I forgive you, but my greatest regret now is that everything happened the way it did. This may be the last time I see you for a long while. I don't expect you'll be visiting me in hell very often, but until we meet again, no matter how long it takes, I'll be waiting." However, Vegeta simply smirked and replied, "Well, maybe there's a way we can undo all of this, Nappa. You remember the Dragon Balls on Earth, don't you?" Nappa's eyes widened in shock. In that instant, he realized that Vegeta had truly decided to bring him back to life.
Nappa froze in disbelief.
The Earth Dragon Balls. I've been here for so long. I'd almost forgotten about those strange orbs I used to be obsessed with. I remember now. 7 Dragon Balls capable of granting any wish, even immortality, but didn't I kill that green Namekian? I thought his death meant the Dragon Balls disappeared forever.
Nappa, you've missed far more than you realize. Many years have passed since your death. That Namekian is alive and well.
Vegeta then began explaining everything that had happened in the Dragon Ball world since the end of the Saiyan saga, recounting the events that had completely changed the fate of the universe. When he finally finished, Nappa stood there speechless. Then he turned back to Vegeta.
I can't believe it. So Frieza was finally defeated after all these years by a Saiyan. And the worst part is, it was Kakarot, that low-class Saiyan. Well, if he became a Super Saiyan, I guess that explains it. But you became a Super Saiyan too. Why weren't you the one to kill Frieza after everything he did to our race and to your father? Don't tell me Kakarot actually became stronger than you.
Of course not. I am the prince of all Saiyans. Never forget that. There is no way I'd allow that clown to surpass me. I am far stronger than Kakarot. He simply reached Frieza before I did. That is all.
Standing beside him, Goku just smiled with one hand behind his head, letting Vegeta continue his lie without embarrassing him.
Yep, Vegeta's way stronger than me. Honestly, Frieza was lucky I was the one who fought him. If Vegeta had gotten there first, he would have made Frieza's death far more painful. Right, Your Highness?
Anyway, gathering the Dragon Balls will take some time. There are a few things I need to take care of first, but I give you my word, I'll bring you back to life, my old friend.
At first, Nappa hesitated, remembering how Vegeta had abandoned him all those years ago. But after a moment, he smiled.
Very well, my prince. Take all the time you need. I've grown used to waiting in this place. Until we meet again, I'll be waiting.
The scene then shifts to Kami's lookout, where Goku and Vegeta head immediately after leaving Nappa behind. There, they gather every Z fighter: Krillin, Yamcha, Gohan, Piccolo, and finally Tien. After explaining everything that had happened, Vegeta concludes,
That is why I've decided to use the Dragon Balls, to revive Nappa and bring him back to Earth.
Silence filled the lookout. Moments later, shock spread across everyone's faces, but no one was more furious than Tien. The memories of his battle with Nappa came flooding back. The moment he was killed, the moment Chaozu sacrificed his own life trying to stop that monster. As those painful memories resurfaced, Tien clenched his fists and shouted,
No! We're not bringing that monster back to life, Vegeta. After everything he did to us, I won't be a part of this, no matter what.
Tien's eyes burned with anger, yet beneath it was a hint of tension as he stepped forward to confront Vegeta face to face. He spoke sharply.
I don't know what kind of insane plan you and Goku have come up with, but all you are doing is putting the Earth, all of us, and even your own family in danger. I would have expected this kind of reckless thinking from him, but from you. After everything we've been through together, I never imagined you'd think a decision like this was acceptable. You know I've never fully trusted you, but after all these years, I finally started to believe you changed. That is why you've been living here on Earth, fighting beside us to protect this world and your family. But Nappa, he has spent all these years in hell surrounded by murderers and monsters. He can't be trusted, and he shouldn't be given this chance. Don't gamble with the lives of everyone on this planet, Vegeta. He may not be as powerful as Frieza or Cell, but he is still strong enough to wipe out the Earth in an instant.
You can destroy the Earth too. So can I. More than 20 years have passed, and you are still incapable of letting go of the past. Is that why you became a monk? I thought monks understood the meaning of forgiveness. Nappa isn't a threat anymore. At this point, even you with your pathetic level of power could defeat him. And if he does lose control, I'll send him straight back to the other world. You have my word, Three Eyes.
Tien's eyes widened with fury. His fist began trembling.
What did you just call me? Take that back right now, Vegeta.
Before the confrontation could explode into a fight, Goku quickly stepped between them, raising both hands.
That is enough, Tien. Don't let Vegeta get under your skin. That is not like you.
Vegeta simply kept smiling, fully aware of what would happen if Tien actually attacked him.
Looks like you'd rather die by my hand than see Nappa come back. Fine by me. I don't mind killing two birds with one stone.
Before things escalated any further, Krillin stepped in.
Listen, guys, believe me, I don't like the idea of bringing Nappa back either. I don't have a single good memory of him, but if you truly believe this is the right decision, then I'll stand with you. I'll help gather the Dragon Balls if you believe he has really changed. After all, Vegeta changed too.
Gohan spoke next, his voice calm.
I agree. I am with you, Dad, no matter what you decide. The last time I saw Nappa, I was just a frightened little kid. I couldn't do anything. But if he returns to the path of evil this time, he won't be stronger than us. He won't even be close to your level, Dad.
Piccolo then stepped forward.
Since Kami became one with me, as the former guardian of Earth, I have a responsibility to be involved in this. I'll keep an eye on everything that happens. And just like Gohan said, if Nappa loses control, we'll deal with him. Besides, he killed me once. It is only fair that I return the favor.
Hearing everyone's agreement, Vegeta nodded with satisfaction.
Good! Then let's begin. Bulma built plenty of dragon radar units. Everyone take one. Find a Dragon Ball as quickly as possible, then return here. It shouldn't take more than a day.
Without another word, every Z-fighter set off in search of the Dragon Balls. Even Vegeta's son Trunks joined the search alongside Chiaotzu. Just a few hours later, all 7 Dragon Balls had been gathered and brought back to Kami's lookout. Standing before them, Dende smiled. He took a deep breath, ready to summon Shenron and grant the long-awaited wish. Before anyone could fully process what was happening, Vegeta raised his voice and shouted, calling forth Shenron. In an instant, a massive pillar of light pierced the sky, and the legendary dragon emerged before everyone in a truly majestic spectacle. Moments later, his deep voice echoed across the lookout, but Vegeta didn't answer right away.
I am Shenron. State your first wish.
He simply looked at the eternal dragon with a faint smile as he drifted into thought. This was the first time in his life that he stood before the Dragon Balls to make a wish of his own, ironically.
Go ahead, Vegeta. Let's give Nappa the welcome he deserves.
Shenron, having waited long enough, repeated firmly.
As I asked before, what is your first wish?
This time, Vegeta didn't hesitate. He looked directly into the dragon's glowing eyes.
Shenron, I wish for the Saiyan known as Nappa to be brought back to life and return to planet Earth.
Silence filled the air as Shenron determined whether the wish was within his power. Then, at last, he replied.
Your wish shall be granted.
His eyes blazed with brilliant light. A radiant beam shot downward toward the base of Kami's lookout, and in a single instant, Nappa returned to the world of the living. He stood there in confusion, staring around as the scenery changed in the blink of an eye. Then, a small smile slowly spread across his face as he looked at his own hand.
I am back. I am alive again. Prince Vegeta, you actually did it. You kept your promise. I knew I could trust you this time.
Without thinking, Nappa rushed forward to hug him, but Vegeta instantly stepped backward, his face turning red with embarrassment.
That is enough with the hugging, Nappa. Once in a lifetime was more than enough.
He couldn't help remembering how Nappa had done the exact same thing when they reunited in Hell. Nappa immediately stopped and scratched the back of his head awkwardly.
Right. I understand. Sorry, Prince Vegeta. I guess you don't want me embarrassing you in front of your new Earthling friends. Looks like everyone I killed ended up coming back to life too. You must have had these Dragon Balls for a long time.
As he continued talking, Kami's lookout suddenly began to shake. At that very moment, an enormous power level erupted across the area. Goku looked up in surprise.
I am sensing an incredible energy. It is really close. Who is it?
He turned around, only to see Tien standing there, his face burning with rage as his aura exploded higher and higher. He roared.
I'll never forgive you.
Nappa stared at Tien with a puzzled expression, trying to remember where he'd seen him before. Then, his eyes suddenly widened.
Oh, now I remember. He is the one who killed me. Good to see his arm grew back.
Meanwhile, Vegeta watched the entire scene in silence, and little by little, the anger on his face became impossible to hide. While Tien's rage continued to shake the entire area, Nappa didn't seem bothered by his overwhelming aura in the slightest. Instead, he calmly walked straight toward him and said with a sarcastic grin,
Heh, 3 eyes. Looks like your arm finally grew back. Good for you, kid. By the way, what was your name again?
My name is Tien. On that cursed day over 20 years ago, I didn't just lose my life trying to stop you. I watched my best friend die by your hand. I don't care if everyone else is willing to forgive you. I never will. And today, I'll make you experience the same pain you made me suffer. Get ready. Follow me. If you have even the slightest respect for this planet. Otherwise, you'll die right here.
For a brief moment, Nappa actually seemed affected by Tien's words, but he didn't back down. Instead, he turned toward Vegeta.
Vegeta, I am not really sure what I am supposed to do here. I can't kill him again, can I?
Go! The 2 of you need to settle this. And it seems the only language either of you understands is your fists. Finish it, then come back.
Got it. I just hope this doesn't take too long. I am starving.
This should be interesting.
Meanwhile, Shenron was still waiting. His deep voice echoed across Kami's lookout.
I have returned your friend to life and brought him back to Earth. What is your final wish? Shenron, I want you to make Nappa as powerful as I am.
What are you doing, Vegeta?
Bringing him back was one thing, but this goes way too far. You never discussed this wish with us.
Before anyone else could speak, Shenron interrupted.
Unfortunately, your power exceeds the limits of my abilities. I cannot grant that wish.
Vegeta simply smiled as though he'd expected that answer all along.
I thought so.
Damn it, Vegeta! You really scared me! Who knew you actually had a sense of humor?
But Vegeta wasn't finished. He looked back at Shenron.
In that case, I wish for Nappa to become the most naturally gifted Saiyan in history when it comes to growth and training. Make him the most talented Saiyan by nature.
Your wish shall be granted.
Then he vanished into the sky, as the 7 Dragon Balls scattered across the Earth once more. Goku looked more confused than anyone else.
What was that all about? The most talented Saiyan in history? What are you planning, Vegeta?
Haven't you always wanted another training partner? Who would be better than another Saiyan? A Saiyan who, with the proper training, could eventually reach our level. If that wish worked the way I intended.
Seriously? You really think that big guy can reach our level? Honestly, I've never been impressed by his strength. He is not even a Super Saiyan.
Listen, Kakarot. You are nothing more than a low-class Saiyan, yet you still reach this level. So don't underestimate an elite Saiyan like Nappa. His bloodline is among the finest our race has ever produced. Second only to mine. With the right training, he'll reach our level. Or at the very least, mine. He spent his entire life weak, serving under me, then under Frieza. And after spending more than 20 years in hell, I think it is finally time he earns strength that truly belongs to him. Besides, if another tournament of power ever happens, I'd rather have Nappa fighting beside us than that monster Frieza. That way, I can finally kill Frieza myself without worrying that you'll bring him back again. You idiot!
So you are still upset about that? I knew it.
At that moment, the scene shifts to a remote mountain range where Tien and Nappa stand face to face, preparing for battle. Tien stared coldly at Nappa.
I don't know what you've been doing all those years in hell, but this fight won't end the way it did last time. Monster, on that day, I experienced the greatest pain a person could ever endure, physically and emotionally. Before your final moments today, I'll make you feel every bit of that pain.
Say whatever you want, Three Eyes. Let's make this the first real test of my new body.
Right here! Right now, you bald! I'll avenge the friend you killed! I'll make you suffer the same pain you inflicted on all of us!
Your friend I killed? Don't tell me you mean that little clown. You are seriously still blaming me for his death? I barely touched him, and then, all of a sudden, he blew himself up and disappeared!
Shut up! You know exactly who I am talking about! Your pathetic attempts to provoke me won't work anymore! I came here for one reason, and that is to crush you!
Come on, Three Eyes. Is that really all you've got? Or are you just jealous of my mustache? Decades have passed since that day. I am a different man now, and just like Vegeta said, if I were still the same Saiyan I used to be, I would have wiped every one of you out the moment I saw you. But look at me now. I am letting all of you live, and this is how you treat me? Seems like Earthlings are even more ruthless than Saiyans.
Wipe us all out. You are even more arrogant than I remembered. You clearly have no idea how much we've grown since the last time you saw us. Sure, you never aged in hell, so you are still just as ugly as ever. But you've forgotten one very important thing. We don't need scouters to measure your power anymore. We can sense it directly. And the truly pathetic part is that you are still almost as weak as you were 20 years ago.
What? You can sense my power without a scouter? Don't make me laugh! You have no idea how strong I've become after surviving in an endless hell. There is a world of difference between fighting in hell and living peacefully on this planet. Believe me, I am already close to the level of a Super Saiyan.
Now that is the funniest thing you've said all day. You, a Super Saiyan! You know better than anyone how far away you are from that level. But enough talking. If you are really so confident you can defeat me, then attack! Become the same monster you were all those years ago! And let's see where that gets you this time.
You've become far too arrogant since I died. Three Eyes, since you've given me permission, I'll stop holding back. If only a little, I'll show you the true power of a Saiyan.
In a single instant, Nappa burst forward at incredible speed. Yet Tien didn't move an inch. He remained standing exactly where he was, his expression calm, almost provocatively so. Tien quietly pulled one fist behind his back. Meanwhile, Nappa roared.
Keep talking to me like that, and after this punch, you'll regret every word!
Nappa threw a full power punch straight at Tien's face, but Tien caught it effortlessly with one hand. His expression never changed. His body didn't even budge. Silence filled the battlefield. Then a confident smile appeared on Tien's face as he looked down at Nappa with contempt.
And this is what you call Super Saiyan power! If this is your idea of a Super Saiyan, then I guess I must be using Ultra Instinct!
Ultra? What? Don't flatter yourself, you fool! You only got lucky stopping that punch! But if you think that was my full power, then you are about to experience a shock you'll never forget!
Nappa suddenly charged at Tien, unleashing a relentless barrage of brutal punches, convinced that the sheer intensity of his assault would force his opponent onto the defensive. But Tien showed no sign of tension. With a calm smile, he effortlessly deflected every single strike, completely neutralizing Nappa's offense as though the punches were moving in slow motion before his eyes. Nappa continued attacking with everything he had, while Tien blocked every blow without the slightest hint of effort. Finally, Tien decided the exchange had gone on long enough. With a swift motion, he knocked Nappa's fist aside, then delivered a lightning-fast punch straight to his nose. Nappa's body was launched like a missile, tearing through the air at incredible speed, before crashing violently into a nearby mountain, the explosion echoing across the entire region. He slammed into the rocks, gasping for breath. His eyes slowly opened in shock.
What hit me? That punch! It was unbelievably fast and impossibly powerful. Did that freak actually do that? Impossible! How did he become this strong?
Then he slammed his fist into the ground. The rocks around him cracked as he roared in fury.
Damn it! This makes no sense. I am a Saiyan elite. The only Saiyan above me is Prince Vegeta. There is no way I can lose to a mere human. No, it had to be a lucky hit.
His mind drifted back to his first battle with Tien, and a savage grin spread across his face.
The last time I saw him, he was screaming in agony like a little child, and this time won't be any different. I'll rip off the same arm I tore apart before. Just wait, Three Eyes.
Nappa sprang back to his feet and scanned every direction, but Tien was gone.
What? He disappeared. Don't tell me he knows that same technique Kakaro's uses. Did he run away? Damn it! I wish I had my scouter right now.
Baldy, I am up here.
Nappa instantly looked up. High above him, Tien hovered calmly in the air, looking down with absolute confidence. Nappa frowned.
So you didn't run away? But why did you go up there? You are wasting my time. Get down here and fight like a real man. Come down right now.
He slowly raised both hands, aiming his palms toward Nappa.
Don't move! This ends right now!
As he tried to understand what was happening, Tien fixed his target between his palms. That stance, that focus, it was a technique everyone recognized. Tien shouted at the top of his lungs.
Neo Tri-Beam! Shin Kikaho!
In the next instant, an enormous beam of energy erupted forward, racing toward Nappa at terrifying speed. The Saiyan's face instantly turned pale.
What? What is this power? It is too fast. I can't dodge it.
A fraction of a second later, the Neo Tri-Beam completely engulfed him. A colossal explosion shook the mountains, flooding the sky with overwhelming energy as a massive pillar of smoke and dust erupted across the landscape. Tien remained suspended in the sky, silently watching the aftermath. As the smoke gradually began to clear, he thought to himself,
He was so slow. He didn't even realize what had happened. Defeating him was far easier than landing a hit on Cell. The ironic part is that I had to hold back even more power just to control the force of that attack. He should still be alive. That is the only way. He can experience the same pain he made us suffer that day.
When the dust finally settled, a massive triangular crater stretched deep through the mountain, carved from miles by the overwhelming precision of the Neo Tri-Beam. As for Nappa, there wasn't a single trace of him to be seen. Tien let out a deep sigh as silence settled over the battlefield. He relaxed his shoulders and looked down at the massive crater left behind by his attack. Calmly, he said,
Finally, it feels like a heavy burden has been lifted from my shoulders. A true martial artist should never allow his emotions to control his actions. If my students saw what I did today, they'd probably be disappointed in me, but that is all right. He needed this lesson. You could say I gave him a free lesson. Now he knows exactly how he felt when we were powerless against him. That is enough. Anything more would just be humiliating someone who hasn't grown at all in all these years.
Then, deep inside, something moved. A blood-covered hand suddenly emerged from the rubble, gripping a broken rock with incredible force. It was Nappa. His body was completely shattered. He was barely breathing, exactly as Tien had predicted. A chilling silence fell over the battlefield. Then, the sound of his heartbeat slowly began to grow louder. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open, but they were no longer the same. His irises had turned a dark golden yellow, surrounded by a strange black aura that gave him a terrifying appearance. A moment later, his other eye opened, revealing the same monstrous look. Nappa dug his fingers into the ground and whispered in a hoarse voice,
It is not over yet.
Then he unleashed a thunderous roar that shook the mountains. A violent surge of energy erupted from his body, shattering what remained of his armor as his muscles swelled unnaturally and thick veins spread across his entire body. It was as if a primitive force had finally awakened within him. Vegeta's wish had finally begun to take effect. Suddenly, everyone gathered at the battlefield after sensing that overwhelming surge of energy. Vegeta's eyes widened and a satisfied smile spread across his face.
So, it has finally begun.
This power, it is strange. It feels familiar somehow.
Guys, are we still sure bringing Nappa back was a good idea?
Honestly, when has Goku ever had a good idea? I just hope Tien is all right.
Damn it! I knew this was going to happen. If Nappa makes one reckless move, I'll put him down myself. Got it.
What is this power? No way. Has he become a Super Saiyan?
Oh no! What kind of mess have you gotten us into this time, Goku? Don't you think we should step in?
Relax, Krillin. This power still doesn't compare to anything we've faced before. Even Cell was far more dangerous, but there is something I don't understand. I thought he was much weaker than this. Wait, Vegeta, this is because of your wish. His power keeps rising. Your wish made him more talented and stronger with every passing moment. If this keeps going, Tien could actually be in danger.
So, it seems my wish is finally bearing fruit. At last, Nappa is beginning to taste the power he was denied his entire life, and I don't understand why you are so worried. Sure, he might be able to land a hit on Three Eyes, but he is still nowhere near our level. Let them enjoy their fight. I'll only step in if one of them is about to die. Whatever this power is, it has increased his strength by more than tenfold. But he is still not at the level of a Super Saiyan. Now, let's see what this warrior you all trust is really capable of.
This isn't funny, Vegeta. Master Tien is our friend, and I won't let him get hurt. If Nappa keeps getting stronger, I'll be the one to stop him.
Big words for a kid. You've certainly changed. I still remember how you used to run away in terror every time you saw Nappa. Do whatever you want. As for me, I am done waiting. Now that Shenron's wish is finally bearing fruit, I am not about to miss this with my own eyes. I want them both to fight with everything they've got. I want to see the true extent of Nappa's power.
But the moment they laid eyes on Nappa, both of them froze. His irises had turned a dark golden yellow, surrounded by a strange black aura. Vegeta's eyes widened.
Impossible! That form, it is similar, but it is not the same as Broly's.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it. It is the same primal power, but it is different.
Meanwhile, Tien had no idea what was happening inside Nappa's body. He looked at him calmly and said,
So, you finally stopped pretending. I was beginning to wonder how a Saiyan could be this weak. I don't know what just happened to you, but now, you might finally be worthy of fighting me seriously.
Worthy? What an insult. To be honest, even I don't know what this power is yet. but I should thank you for volunteering to be the first person I tested on. I am honestly surprised you haven't run away yet. You can sense power levels, can't you? Then you must already feel it, my power. It is at least 10 times greater than it was just moments ago. You still have time. Leave this place while you are still alive. This is my final warning.
But Teen didn't move. Instead, he smiled confidently.
10 times, yes. That sounds about right. It is an impressive transformation, one worthy of a Saiyan. But don't think Saiyans are the only ones capable of increasing their power in an instant. Let me show you another method, one I think you are already familiar with.
Suddenly, Tien's energy erupted. A dense crimson aura exploded around his body as the pressure of his ki shook the earth beneath his feet. Nappa's eyes widened.
That red aura! That is the same power Kakaroto used when he shattered my back! Damn these Earthlings! Where do they keep learning all these insane techniques?
So, Ting! You weren't just training your students. You've been training yourself all these years too! Now, this is getting interesting!
Tien slowly raised his fist, his crimson aura stabilizing around him. He looked directly at Nappa and spoke firmly.
Enough staring. Come now. The real battle begins.
Nappa, whose own muscles had expanded under the power of his Ikari state, watched him with a strange smile. A smile that held no fear, not even the slightest hint of concern. As if no matter how much Tien increased his power, he was nothing more than a tiny ant incapable of harming him.
I'll admit it. You are starting to remind me of Kakarot when he first reached that power, but don't let that fool you. In the end, you are nothing more than a strange-looking human. If you were a true Saiyan, I might have considered you worth my attention. But you are still not worthy of being called my opponent. So give up, before I make you regret ever standing in my way, Three Eyes.
You are rarely right, Nappa. But this time, you got one thing right. I am not Goku. And that means I can use this technique in a completely different way. A way you've never seen before, and one you are not prepared to deal with. Now, look to your right.
What did you say? To my right?
Slowly, he turned his head toward the right, but before he could finish the movement, another Tien suddenly appeared beside him. Nappa wasn't an ordinary opponent. One surprise attack wasn't enough to put him down. Amid the rubble, he pushed himself up with one hand and slowly stood, muttering angrily.
What a dirty trick! I didn't know you wanted to fight like that, Three Eyes!
But the moment he looked up, he froze. There were two Tiens standing side by side.
What the hell am I looking at? Two of you. You've got to be kidding me. What is this? A family reunion? Let me guess. You think having two of you gives you a chance against me?
It seems all Saiyans share the same stupidity. And here I thought Goku was the dumbest of them. Allow me to be your teacher today, big guy. This technique is called the multiform technique. That is why you almost never see Goku use it. But for me, it is one of my signature techniques. Consider yourself lucky. You came back to life just in time to witness its power.
At first, anger flared in Nappa's eyes, but he spat on the ground, forcing himself to stay calm.
The multiform technique? Spare me these cheap tricks. I don't care if there is one of you, or a million. It won't change a thing. You'll still be weak. And you'll always be weak. In fact, I'll enjoy crushing both of you at the same time.
Suddenly, Nappa unleashed his power once again. The earth shook violently. Mountains cracked apart in every direction. Even the air itself grew heavy, as though the very fabric of space were trembling beneath the pressure of his terrifying energy. Far away, Goku watched with wide eyes.
His power! It is still rising? This is insane. I never imagined Nappa had this kind of potential. How much longer is this going to keep increasing? Vegeta!
What is wrong, Kakarot? Starting to get scared. Don't tell me you are thinking about running away. You knew this was going to happen. This is the true power a high-class Saiyan deserves. And I am certain he hasn't even begun yet. I'll admit, for a human, mastering the Kaioken is impressive. But it is time for him to understand. why the Saiyans were once feared as the greatest warrior race in the universe.
The next instant, Nappa vanished. He launched himself straight toward his opponent. At the same time, both Tiens charged forward to meet him, 2 against 1.
So, 2 against 1? Doesn't seem very fair, but I guess you need all the help you can get.
The battle exploded. Fists collided at blinding speed as shockwaves tore across the sky. The 3 fighters vanished and reappeared in every direction, exchanging blows so rapidly they became little more than streaks of light. Each managed to land hits on the others, but as the battle dragged on, the tide slowly began to shift. Tien's duplicate, possessing only half of his original power, could no longer keep up with Nappa. One crushing blow, and the clone was sent crashing down unconscious.
Damn it! I never imagined he'd be able to keep up with me like this! I knew he was strong, but not this strong. If I don't end this fight soon, the Kaioken will destroy my body. Either I finish him now, or I'll be the one who falls.
Meanwhile, Nappa charged forward with complete confidence.
Even when both of you attacked together, you still couldn't defeat me? Do you finally understand who you are fighting? Today, you die.
Tien watched him closing the distance at terrifying speed. He realized his time was running out. There was no room left for mistakes. Suddenly, he raised both hands in front of his face, spreading his fingers wide. Then, he shouted at the top of his lungs.
Solar flare!
A blinding burst of white light exploded from between his hands.
My eyes! What did you do, you idiot? I can't see!
Tien seized the opening without hesitation. His duplicate shot through the air toward him. The moment they touched, the 2 bodies merged into one. Tien returned to his full power. He slowly exhaled, never taking his eyes off the blinded Saiyan.
There is no room for error. If I want to win, I'll have to use that technique.
Suddenly, the muscles across his back swelled violently. Then, to everyone's shock, 2 additional arms burst from his back, rapidly growing until they were just as muscular and powerful as his original pair. Tien now stood with 4 arms, ready to unleash his next technique.
It is over, Nappa.
In the next instant, he forced his body far beyond its human limits. His crimson aura erupted violently as his muscles swelled even further, veins bulging across his entire body beneath the unbearable strain.
What? That is impossible. This whole time, that Earthling was hiding power like this.
Even Vegeta, despite his usual composure, couldn't completely hide his surprise. As for Goku, his expression immediately filled with concern. He stepped forward and shouted,
Teen, listen to me. This is insane. What are you trying to prove? Don't push your body this far. You could die. Kaioken X20 is far beyond what a human body can withstand. It is not worth it. Stop before it is too late.
But Tien didn't hear a single word. Every emotion he had buried for over 20 years exploded at once. He charged straight toward the blinded Nappa, unleashing an endless barrage of punches. Nappa couldn't even defend himself. Tien drove a devastating uppercut into Nappa's body. Nappa's body shot into the sky at incredible speed, becoming nothing more than a tiny speck in the heavens. Tien watched calmly. Slowly, he raised all 4 of his arms, then closed his eyes for a brief moment.
It is over, Saiyan. I will never forgive you for what you did to us. Stay calm. This attack will end everything.
In the next instant, he unleashed an enormous beam of energy, a beam that surpassed even the Tri-Beam itself in both size and destructive power. It tore across the sky at terrifying speed. Within a fraction of a second, it struck Nappa squarely in the back. His body blasted upward like a rocket, piercing through the atmosphere, until he became nothing more than a glowing point among the stars. As Nappa's energy vanished, Tien slowly lowered his aura. His chest rose and fell violently. His breathing became ragged. His entire body trembled from exhaustion. Then, he collapsed to one knee, gasping for air. A weary smile appeared on his face.
I finally did it. At last. After more than 20 years, I finally showed him what an Earthling can truly achieve. Maybe I went too far and killed him, but that bastard never deserved a second chance. He never deserved mercy. I am sorry, Goku. I know you are probably angry about what I did, but I had no choice. You never experienced the pain he caused me, or what he did to Chaozu.
Sorry? For what, 10? I don't think this fight is over yet.
What? How can it not be over?
Instinctively, he looked up into the sky. High above, almost at the edge of space, Nappa was still being driven upward by the force of the beam. His body hung motionless, as though life had already left him. His eyes snapped open, only they were no longer the same. They had become a brilliant emerald green. At that very moment, his eyebrows and mustache turned golden, while his mustache rapidly grew into a thick golden beard. His muscles expanded even further. His entire body began trembling violently. Grinding his teeth, he let out a terrifying growl. Then he uttered a single sentence.
You! Three-eyed freak!
He unleashed a thunderous roar that shook the heavens. Suddenly, a terrifying golden aura exploded from his body, surrounding him in blazing light that tore through the sky like a raging storm. A wide grin spread across his face. Then he threw his head back and laughed.
Finally! I finally become a Super Saiyan! I knew it! Fighting a freak like you was all I needed to awaken the legendary Saiyan power. This is incredible!
In the very next instant, Nappa casually raised one hand. He obliterated the massive energy beam. Then he vanished. He rocketed back toward the Earth even faster than he had flown into the sky. His eyes were locked onto Tien alone. His voice echoed across the heavens as he roared.
It is bedtime, three-eyed freak. You have no idea what you've awakened. You've awakened a true Super Saiyan!
No, how? How did he survive that attack? And how does he still have this much energy?
His body could no longer move. The Kaioken had drained everything he had. His muscles trembled uncontrollably. His breathing was ragged. He didn't even have the strength to lift his arms. All he could do was watch Nappa descend at terrifying speed.
Is this really Nappa? How does he keep getting stronger? I gave him everything I had. He should have been defeated. Could it be that he possessed talent equal to Goku and Vegeta all along?
This is bad. After becoming a Super Saiyan, Nappa's on a completely different level. Tien won't survive this. I have to stop this.
Enough, Kakarot. That isn't one of your Earthling friends. He is a Saiyan. And this is his battle, not yours. That Earthling chose this fight with his own free will, so he'll face the consequences himself. I am warning you, Kakarot. If you take even one more step, I'll stop you by force. Stop treating everyone like children. Let them fight their own battles. And for once, stop trying to be the hero of every story.
Goku froze. He didn't like Vegeta's words, but he knew there was some truth in them. Slowly, he lowered his fist and silently continued watching. Meanwhile, Nappa had already reached Tien. It seemed as though the end of one of Earth's greatest warriors had finally arrived. But the instant the dust cleared, Tien was still standing exactly where he had been. His eyes were wide with shock, and his body didn't have a single new scratch.
What? What just happened? Who the hell are you? How dare you interfere and stop my final blow? Do you have any idea who you are talking to, you bastard?
As the smoke completely dispersed, a young man stood firmly in front of Tien. He had stopped Nappa's punch with one hand. He calmly raised his eyes to meet Nappa's.
That is enough. Your fight ends here.
And also, that is enough for video today. Share your theories in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.